remarkably more shocking was a month later when they called me up and out of the blue asked if I wanted to host.
For more than 20 years, he's been the calm, trustworthy guide in the world of home renovation. Kevin O'Connor, the guy who basically stumbled into television from a high-flying career in finance, became the steady hand of This Old House *, arguably America's most respected home improvement show. He's hosted hundreds of episodes, racked up Emmy nominations, and quietly built an empire on a foundation of just being real and curious. But lately, something's felt different. The internet started buzzing, and those whispers grew into a roar. One by one, long-time, beloved cast members have retired. Rumors of tension behind the scenes and a changing of the guard began to spiral. That led viewers to ask the one question that seemed unthinkable: is Kevin leaving, too? Is this really the end of an era for the show that taught America how to build, fix, and restore? For months, as all the speculation piled up, Kevin O'Connor stayed quiet. But now, at 57, he's finally ready to talk. And the story he has to tell isn't the one anyone was expecting. It's a story that cuts through all the noise, shoots down the myths, and reveals a truth that is far more interesting than any rumor. Because behind that friendly, familiar face is a story of pure chance, dedication, and a future that nobody saw coming. The truth about Kevin O'Connor's role at This Old House is finally coming out, and it's going to surprise even his most loyal fans. It all started with a phantom post. A story began making the rounds online about a cryptic message from Kevin himself. A black and white photo of a closed workshop door, supposedly shared on his Instagram, with a caption that read, "Not every door stays open forever." The internet just about exploded. "Is this goodbye?" one fan supposedly commented. "Say it ain't so, Kevin," pleaded another. This single, unverified post became the spark that ignited all the speculation. It was cited in articles, debated in fan forums, and treated like it was definitive proof that the host of 21 seasons was hanging up his tool belt for good. The story was perfect, a quiet, dignified announcement from a man who always stayed away from drama. But was any of it real? This one rumor would set off a chain reaction, making fans question everything they thought they knew about their favorite show. The story of Kevin O'Connor's departure seemed to write itself, thanks to a powerful mix of a few facts and a ton of online gossip. The narrative that formed was convincing, detailed, and, for a lot of fans, pretty concerning. It was more than that supposed Instagram post. It was a patchwork of truth, half-truths, and things that were just plain made up. The rumor mill claimed that after that cryptic post, Kevin had started to quietly confirm he was leaving in off-the-record chats and carefully worded interviews. These supposed interviews painted a picture of a guy ready for a new chapter, tired of the TV grind, and excited to work on his own projects. According to the grapevine, he wasn't leaving because of some big dramatic blow-up, but because his priorities were slowly changing. There were whispers of tension on set, something that can happen on any long-running show trying to find its place in the modern world. Kevin had even publicly criticized the more dramatic, flip-focused home renovation shows on networks like HGTV, holding up This Old House as a place for real craftsmanship. Speculators twisted this into a story of creative differences, suggesting he was fighting with the direction of home improvement TV in general. His departure was framed as a noble move, a craftsman protecting his integrity in a world of fake drama, and to make it all more believable, his exit story came packaged with a perfect next chapter. The rumors claimed he was launching a new, independent project that would blend home design with intimate stories about real families. This project was supposedly his real passion, a way to keep doing his work without the rules of a big network. It sounded like the perfect next step for a host who always focused on the human side of renovation. The rumors even mentioned a new business, a tool rental service called This Old Toolbox, supposedly co-founded by Kevin to help out all the DIYers. This detail made his departure story sound even more legitimate. The retirements of his longtime colleagues, landscape expert Roger Cook and master carpenter Norm Abram, were seen as the final pieces of the puzzle. Their goodbyes, while handled with class on screen, were reframed as the end of an era, leaving Kevin as the last man standing from a cherished generation of experts. The rumor suggested that with his trusted partners gone, he just wasn't as motivated anymore. The show, they said, was being retooled for a younger audience, and at 57, Kevin had just decided it was his time to step aside. Every single piece fit together, creating a story of a beloved icon's quiet, thoughtful farewell. It was a story fans were ready to believe, but it had one huge flaw. To get to the truth, you have to understand the man himself. And Kevin O'Connor's story is one of the most unlikely in TV history. He was never supposed to be a TV host. He had no construction background, no journalism training, and zero desire for a life on camera. His journey started far from the sawdust of this old house, in the buttoned-up world of high finance. Born around 1968 and raised in New Jersey, Kevin O'Connor was on a pretty standard path. He got a history degree from Holy Cross and then an MBA from Boston University. That education led to a successful banking career, first at Fleet Bank and then at Bank of America, where he became a senior vice president in commercial real estate. By any measure, he was a successful executive, living in a world that was miles away from television. The turn that would change his entire life came from a simple, relatable problem at home. In the early 2000s, Kevin and his wife, Kathleen, bought an 1894 Queen and Victorian house that needed a lot of work. They got completely stuck trying to remove some stubborn, old wallpaper. In what he later called a moment of pure desperation, having grown up watching this old house, they sent an email to the show, just hoping for a secret trick to get the wallpaper off. It was a total shot in the dark, but timing is everything. Unbeknownst to Kevin, the producers of This Old House were creating a new spin-off called Ask This Old House, where experts would answer questions directly from viewers. Kevin's email was like a gift. They didn't just email back with advice, they offered to come to his house and film it. That episode, which aired on March 6, 2003, was a light bulb moment for the producers. Kevin wasn't just standing there. He was genuinely curious, asking the crew, from Tom Silva to Jim Clark, smart questions. He wanted to understand the process, the materials, the why behind it all. He was engaging, well-spoken, and was basically the perfect stand-in for the viewer at home. The producers saw more than just a homeowner, they saw a star. Just 3 weeks later, while sitting in his office at Bank of America, Kevin got a call he was sure was a prank. It was the producers from This Old House. They wanted him to be the new host of both the original show and the spin-off, taking over from Steve Thomas. Kevin just laughed. The idea was so crazy that he asked his boss to hold his job for him, convinced he'd be back at his desk in a year. But the offer was real. The show, having already dealt with the controversial exit of its original host, Bob Vila, was ready to take a huge gamble. They had reportedly screened over 400 people for the job, but after filming with Kevin, they stopped looking. They bet the future of their legendary brand on a banker who had never worked a day in television. It was a bet that would pay off for the next 2 decades. Taking over as host of This Old House in 2003 was a huge deal. The show was already an institution with a deeply loyal audience. Kevin O'Connor was a total outsider, a finance guy joining a tight-knit family of legends like Norm Abram, Tom Silva, and Richard Trethway. A lot of viewers were skeptical at first. Who was this new guy, and what could he possibly know about renovating houses? But here's the thing, Kevin's lack of construction experience was actually his secret weapon. He wasn't there to be the expert, he was there to be us, the viewer. His job, as he saw it, was to ask the questions that the average person watching at home would be thinking. He approached every project with real curiosity and a deep respect for the skills of the crew around him. He never pretended to know more than he did. That humility is what made him so trustworthy. He wasn't some polished TV host, he was a real person, learning right along with the audience. His warmth quickly won over even the biggest skeptics. The show didn't just survive, it thrived. With him at the helm, this old house stayed the gold standard of home renovation, earning multiple Emmys. Kevin was key to launching new projects that expanded the brand, like the Clear Story podcast and his best-selling book, The Best Homes of This Old House. His name became linked with the show's core values, integrity, craftsmanship, and doing things the right way. That he also wasn't afraid to protect those values. As reality TV became dominated by manufactured drama and quick-flip shows, Kevin became a sharp critic. He publicly called out those shows for being misleading, warning that they made complex renovations look like easy weekend projects. This wasn't just a critique, it was a defense of everything this old house stood for. For him, renovation wasn't about quick profits, it was about preserving history, honoring skilled work, and teaching real skills. That honesty just made his audience love him more. Perhaps his biggest test came with the retirements of his beloved colleagues. In 2020, Roger Cook stepped away due to health issues, and in 2022, the legendary Norm Abram announced his retirement after an incredible 43 years. This was more than a cast change, it felt like the soul of the show was leaving. Losing guys like Roger and Norm could have wrecked the whole program. But Kevin handled it with incredible grace. There were no sudden goodbyes. The handoffs were natural and respectful, with new experts like landscape designer Jen Nevada being introduced gradually, so viewers felt a sense of continuity. He understood the show's strength was its consistency. He didn't just replace people, he carefully passed the torch, keeping the show's identity intact. Through it all, Kevin remained the constant, the steady hand guiding the ship. Before we reveal the truth behind all those rumors and that mysterious Instagram post, take a second to think about what this old house means to you. If you appreciate the dedication to real craftsmanship and the authentic stories, show your support by hitting that like button. And if you want more deep dives that get to the truth behind your favorite shows, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. Your support helps us keep bringing you the stories you won't find anywhere else. Now, let's get back to what really happened with Kevin O'Connor. So, after months of speculation and fan anxiety, what is the actual truth? Is Kevin O'Connor, after 21 seasons, really leaving this old house? Let's break this whole myth down, starting with the evidence that kicked it all off, that cryptic Instagram post. The story of a black and white photo of a closed door captioned, "Not every door stays open forever," is a good story. It sounds exactly like the kind of thing a thoughtful host like Kevin might post. The post doesn't exist. It appears to be a total fabrication, a piece of digital folklore that took on a life of its own. There's no record of it anywhere. The very foundation of the rumor is built on nothing. What about those confirmed interviews where he supposedly said he was stepping back? Again, if you look through any real news outlet, industry publication, or official press release from PBS or this old house, you'll find nothing. Zero. There have been no such interviews. No official announcement. In fact, the reality is the exact opposite. As of 2025, Kevin O'Connor is still the host of This Old House and Ask This Old House. He is front and center in the show's 45th season, which focuses on a complex ADA-compliant renovation. Far from stepping back, he is actively at the helm, guiding viewers through new projects. And the other parts of the story? They fall apart, too. The supposed new venture focused on home design and storytelling hasn't been announced anywhere because it doesn't seem to be real. While Kevin is involved in other things, like his podcast, he's made it clear these are meant to add to his work on the show, not replace it. That rumored business, This Old Toolbox, also appears to be completely fictional. In a recent interview, Kevin addressed the rumors directly, confirming his commitment to the show he's led for over 2 decades. He said it's natural for people to speculate when a show's been on for so long, but he made it clear he still loves the work and has no plans to leave. The truth isn't a story of departure. It's a story of enduring dedication. Kevin O'Connor isn't walking away, he's still there, standing in the sawdust, ready to ask the next question. So if the rumors are completely false, why did so many people believe them? The answer is a mix of a few things that created the perfect environment for a rumor to spread. First off, a beloved host leaving a long-running show is a believable story. After 21 seasons in any job, it's natural to think about a change. Viewers have watched Kevin go from the new guy to a seasoned veteran. At 57, an age when people often think about their next chapter, the idea of him stepping back doesn't sound crazy. It's a logical, even if unwanted, thought. That idea got a massive boost from the recent, and very real, retirements of Norm Abram and Roger Cook. These two were pillars of the This Old House brand. Their goodbyes, as graceful as they were, sent a clear signal: an era was truly ending. When a giant like Norm Abram hangs up his tool belt after 43 years, it makes any change feel possible. The audience was already primed to accept the departure of legends, which made it easier to believe rumors about the host. The show's own history also plays a part. This Old House has had dramatic host changes before. The exit of the original host, Bob Vila, in 1989 was sudden and controversial. His replacement, Steve Thomas, also left quietly after 14 years. Longtime fans remember this stuff. They know hosts can leave, sometimes out of the blue. That history makes any rumor about a host's future seem more credible, and of course, you have the internet's clickbait machine. Unverified rumors are the fuel for countless websites and social media accounts that need clicks to survive. A headline like "Beloved Host to Leave Iconic Show" is designed to get an emotional reaction, shock, sadness, curiosity, and generate shares and comments. Once a compelling but false story like the cryptic Instagram post is out there, it can be spread over and over, with each new article citing the last one, building a chain of misinformation that looks real from a distance. Basically, the rumor caught fire because it was a story people could believe. It fit a known pattern, it came after similar real events, it lined up with the show's own history, and it was perfectly designed to be spread by the internet. It was a convincing fiction built around an emotional truth, the fans' deep connection to Kevin and their worry about the future of a show they love. So now that we've debunked the rumors, what is the real future for this old house? The answer isn't an ending, but a smart and strategic evolution. The show isn't facing a crisis, it's actively building a bridge to its future, with Kevin O'Connor as the crucial link between its celebrated past and its next chapter. The heart of the show is the same. The 45th season is a perfect example, tackling a complex and meaningful project focused on an ADA-compliant renovation that is true to the show's mission, helping real families. Kevin is at the center of it all, leading the conversations and explaining the work. His confirmed commitment provides a stable foundation for the show to build on, but being stable doesn't mean the show is standing still. The producers are clearly planning for the future. The gradual and thoughtful introduction of new experts isn't about replacing people, it's about succession. By bringing in new faces alongside the established crew, the show ensures it will be around for years to come. It avoids the shock of a total reboot and instead lets the audience build relationships with new personalities over time, just like they did with the originals. This Old House has also been making huge moves online. In 2021, the show partnered with Roku to make over 1,500 episodes available to stream for free, making it accessible to a whole new generation that might not watch broadcast TV. Kevin, with his own projects like the Clear Story podcast, is a key part of this modern approach. The future of This Old House isn't about a dramatic exit, but about a smart, steady evolution. It's a future where Kevin O'Connor's trusted presence provides the continuity fans love, while new talent and new platforms bring fresh energy. The show is doing what it has always done best, adapting an old structure for modern times, making sure it remains as solid and relevant as the homes it helps restore. When you look back, the whole story about Kevin O'Connor leaving is a perfect example of how myths get started online. It shows how easily a story can be built from a few stray facts, a little history, and a whole lot of internet imagination. The whispers of a quiet exit and a cryptic post created a story that was easy to get swept up in, but the truth is simpler and, honestly, more reassuring. Kevin O'Connor is not leaving this old house. The man who stumbled into television because of some stubborn wallpaper is still the dedicated host of America's most trusted home renovation show. He's still the viewer's advocate, the curious one asking the questions, and the steady hand guiding the program into its future. The real story isn't about an ending. It's about ongoing commitment and smart evolution. The show isn't ditching its past, it's building on it, with its veteran host making sure new talent and technology can carry the legacy forward. The rumors gave us a bit of drama, but the reality gives us something much better: stability and the promise of many more seasons to come. So, why do you think these rumors about Kevin's departure got so popular? And as the show keeps evolving, what are you most excited to see from him and the rest of the This Old House crew? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from the community that has kept this show going for decades. And for more videos that cut through the noise to bring you the real story, don't forget to subscribe.